Okay, let me talk about it real quick because I've seen it all over the news, and this is something that interests me. Uh, Cuba, Cuba. All right, so if you do not know, I am personally Cuban. I was born in Cuba, and I came over here, and I was mostly raised here in the United States, in Washington. But I was born in Cuba, and I have family in Cuba. And the last time that I went to Cuba, which was in like 2022 or 2023, um, right now Cuba's in a really bad spot. Okay, but listen, I'm not gonna lie to you. It has been in a bad spot for the last like 10 or 20 years. It's just we're paying a lot more attention to it now because the current United States administration is paying a lot more attention to it. So now we're paying more attention to it. But yeah, it's been bad. It's been bad. Okay. In the last time I went to Cuba to visit family, we went to I would like to say like a luxury resort. It's a place called Baradero, and it's kind of like from what I remember of it, it's kind of like a beach. Okay, but it also has other stuff as well. But basically, it's just like a luxury part of the island. And even there in that luxury area, there was shortages of clean drinking water and food. And right now, with the crisis in, I'd like to call it like the March crisis, like the Cuban 2026 March crisis, because it pretty much, like, all the serious stuff started this month. On March 16, 2026, the national electrical grid suffered a total disconnection, leaving approximately 11 million people in the dark. 11 million Cubans. That's how many people live there. And listen, first of all, I want to say before continuing to read off of this article, I want to say the Cuban electrical grid is still mostly powered by Soviet era technology. Okay? So even without all of this going on right now, it's Soviet era technology. It's like 60-year-old technology at this point, you know, for the entire electrical grid. I'm surprised it has held up to this point. But anyways, the cause of this total disconnection was the failure of the Antonio Guterres power plant, the island's largest, triggered a cascade. This was exacerbated by a near total lack of fuel. Cuba's oil imports dropped to zero in early 2026 after a U.S. led blockade tightened the following the ousting of Nicolas Maduro in Venezuela. Again, I want to repeat, even without this going on, even without the guy from Venezuela getting taken away by the U.S., the infrastructure is literally built on Soviet era technology. So I don't know what to. I mean, the article literally has a section talking about the infrastructure. The grid is built on aging Soviet era technology that is well past its lifespan. Most thermoelectric plants are operating at only about 34% capacity. So obviously, the impact of this whole disconnection Without power, water pumps have failed, hospitals have suspended non essential surgeries, and food refrigeration is non existent, leading to widespread spoilage. Now, about the economy, it's pretty much at a standstill right now. The GDP has contracted significantly over the last few years, and inflation is rampant. There are a lot of shortages beyond electricity. Shortage for food, for medicine, and for clean water. And, well, I mean, this hasn't really changed much. Trash has begun to pile up more than it already was before because there's always been piled up trash. Okay, in Cuba. All right. They have like terrible garbage collection rules over there or something because every time I go to visit, and again, this is, I'm a little outdated in this because the last time I went to visit was to see my family in like 2022 or 2023. Every time I've gone over there, trash has been piled up on the streets. But anyways, trash has begun piling up more in the capital, Havana, because there isn't enough fuel for collection trucks. Education, which is extremely important, most schools and universities have been closed or moved to a hybrid, aka remote model to save on energy. And the social unrest is rampant. Rare and violent protests have broken out. In mid March, a Communist Party office in Moron was ransacked and set fire to, a significant escalation of public defiance. Now, for tourism and travel, I mean, I can really sum all this up like in a couple of words. There's no fuel, so no plane. There you go. Major airlines, including Air Canada, WestJet, and Air Transat, have suspended flights to Cuba, citing a lack of aviation fuel at international airports. The UK, Canada, and other nations have issued avoid all non essential travel warnings, and major operators like Intrepid Travel have canceled all departures through at least the end of April 2026. So, what's the reason for, this worsening of the Cuban situation right now? Mostly it's the United States. It's the pressure that the United States is putting on Cuba right now. The Trump administration has intensified the embargo that was always put on Cuba by the United States, demanding the release of political prisoners and a transition toward a different government. Basically, just stop being a communist country. And then, through negotiations on March 13, President of the Cuban government, President Miguel Diaz-Canel, confirmed that Cuba is in diplomatic talks with the U.S. as a gesture of goodwill. The Cuban government announced the release of 51 political prisoners. So overall, right now, situation in Cuba, yeah, it's bad. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. It's been bad for the last 10 years. Don't think that it's just because this administration is pressuring them. That is definitely adding on top of other stuff, but Cuba has been in a bad place for years. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Now we're focusing more on it, obviously, but they've been in a bad place overall, you know. And what's my overall hypothesis? What's my overall like opinion on this? If you're planning to go to Cuba, don't. Yeah, don't go. Don't go. If you want to, I guess, support the Cuban people, if you have family over there or something, there are some services that, you know, like you can send money to family over there through them. But I'm pretty sure that the United States is also clamping down on those. So right now, overall, just you know, it's a bad time. It's a bad time. Luckily, my family in Cuba, they're doing pretty well. They're doing, as good as possible with the situation right now. But there are also just a lot of people over there that don't have help from people outside of the country. And right now, pretty much the only way to be like okay in Cuba is if you have help coming in from, family members outside of the country, right? If you have money coming in from family members outside of the country. And it's been like that for a couple of years. But anyways, yeah, if you can avoid going to Cuba, and I don't know, man. I don't know. I just hope that it gets better. I just hope that the situation gets better because obviously I feel, a connection to the country, right? I have family over there. I was born over there. It's my home country. And even though I was raised here for, a good part of my life, still sucks. It still sucks. It just sucks overall when another, country is suffering when so many people in another place are suffering. But what can you do about it? Well, obviously there are a couple of things you can do about it. You can send money and everything, but other than that, okay, just hope that it gets better, man. That's all you can do. But anyways, yeah, I just had to talk about it because I've been seeing it everywhere. With me being Cuban and everything. Uh, yeah, I just wanted to talk about it. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, then I don't know. You know, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know, but you know. I think you know. I think you know. Like, subscribe, and comment, and that's about it for this video. So thank you so much for watching. Stay safe out there. Take care of yourself, and I will see you in the next video.